How far have you traveled to be here?
Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it's the only reason why I came was to see the Casey Anthony case.
I feel very emotionally attached at this point. I've not missed any of the coverage on this trial. It's so much so it's actually inspired me to apply for law school.
Fans of the Casey Anthony trial, they just cannot get enough. They are traveling, in some cases, thousands of miles and lining up in the sweltering heat. I mean, it is sweltering. Sweltering. It's hot. Feels like 110. Just to get a front row seat to this, well, it's been often grisly testimony. And certainly, who can forget scenes like, well, check this out again. People running like mad, fighting with each other to get inside the courtroom. Crazy. Now, trial fans who travel from out of state get really upset when they finally get there and they cannot hear any testimony. Katie Corrigan came all the way up from New Jersey, and she was going to see the sights and go to Florida. I think she was going to go to Disney World. And also, as part of the new Orlando sightseeing, there's a stop at the Casey Anthony trial. In fact, when I arrived here at the airport yesterday, I half expected to look up and see signs that say, to Disney World, and another sign that says, to the Casey Anthony trial, because that's how much of a focus it is here. Okay, Katie, you and your cousin got seats today, and when you got inside, what happened? And cut to right to that point where there were gasps.
Well, we had no idea what was going on. We were sitting there thinking that the trial was going to begin, and all of a sudden you have these attorneys going at it, Baez, which was supposedly intentional, and they are running back and forth, and then you have the judge going into the jury room. We don't know what was said, but the court reporter had gone in there too, and at this point everybody wants to know what's going on. At first we actually had a break, and it was only supposed to be for 25 minutes or so. We come back and it's still a wait, and we come back to the judge telling us that we are now dismissed for the day. Well, everybody was gasping. The whole audience was just in an uproar. Everybody was very pissed off, and we were very angry because we had waited the day before for 8 hours in a line that was sweltering heat, and we were very angry to not be able to see any testimonies given that day in court.
Now, I know, Casey, you've been in there a number of times. Today, when you were looking at Casey Anthony while everybody was waiting, what did she look like? Because some people said she looked particularly edgy and she was doing this with her hands. What did you see?
Well, she was, at points, she was sitting around, looking around, you know, making eye contact with everybody. And at some time, she was, we saw her laughing.
Really?
We saw her laughing.
Well, tell us about that, Katie.
She turned her chair around, and we couldn't tell if she was laughing, crying. She may have been crying because the defense didn't get to give their piece.
What was her reaction to her attorney, Jose Baez, being scolded, verbally spanked?
She seemed shocked. I think she was angry. But at one point when she turned her chair, nobody really knew what to think. We didn't know what was going on or what the emotion with her really was at that point. So it was hard to tell, but I believe that she was in shock. Mostly.
Yeah, I think it's kind of getting to her. I think she's starting to see that.
She's starting to see she might be at the 11th hour, and it's something.
Thank you, Casey.